welcome to the Killtocraft Podcast, episode 21. I'm Vanessa, I'm your host, and today I bring you an episode about knitting and a little bit of spinning. So welcome to all new and regular viewers. It's nice to be back again. It's been a long time. It's been about a month now. When I should have last podcasted, which should have been 2 weeks ago, I had to work for Record Store Day at my partner's work, so it was kind of a late notice thing, and I was helping out his boss's partner, who usually helps out. She's actually pregnant and was expecting to be due anytime, so I was helping out for that day, helping bagging up stock as people were buying. Then the following day, Will, my partner, had gotten a new laptop, and he'd set it up and he'd put things onto his laptop, and for some reason then the internet started dropping, and so the past 2 weeks our internet has been really funny until very recently, when we realised it's because he's got a different version of Windows to me, and apparently it won't let you put Firefox on, which is stupid. So we had hassle on all platforms, so I couldn't use my internet on my mobile, neither could Will. I couldn't use my laptop on the internet because it was dropping connection for all computers. So we didn't figure out for a good week or so, because our internet provider was looking into it and they said our connection was perfectly fine, which lo and behold, of course it is, because it wasn't their problem. But you don't know that, and when your connection is dropping you assume it's something to do with them. But it seemed really obscure that it also coincided with Will getting his new laptop, and I started to look into it and tried to do some fixes, like change his IP address, looked into other things as well, and nothing seemed to be working, or they did temporarily, and then his computer started troubleshooting weird things, and I said to him, how about restore it from factory settings and see how you go? So we did that. Lo and behold, it was working perfectly fine. And then Will put on Firefox, and no, it wasn't. And who would have thought that putting on a different internet browser would mess up the internet for the whole rest of your household? So literally, it was easy as this, uninstalled, and the internet was back again. How odd. So Will wasn't happy because he likes to use Firefox, and that's his browser that he uses regularly. But he's had to kind of put that aside and forget about it, because we just can't do it. Because I want to use my internet. So anyway, a little bit of babbling for you about as to why I've been gone for so long, but I'm back. Hello. So yay. Today I'm wearing my Brioche Delicious shawl, and I am keeping warm under here because it is freezing. It's quite sunny outside, but we had a few moments of hail about an hour, maybe half an hour ago, and the past week has been mental with weather. We've had rain, hail, snow, cloud. We've had all the torrential stuff tightly into one neat weekly package, and it's really glorious today, apart from the fact that it's really cold. Like, my hands are freezing, can't seem to warm up. But it is nice to be back, and I am ready. Woo! So today I am drinking my Fudge Melts green tea. which is cooling down, so I better drink some. In my morning gorgeous mug, even though it's 12:15. And I've just realised that my FO is hung up. 1 second while I grab it. So, let's get into some knitting. So this past few weeks, I haven't got many FOs done. Just to pre-warn you, I've got one FO finished, which is my silver birch socks, which you might remember these, and they have come out super nice. Both pairs totally finished. They've taken me a while. I think overall started these in February. I think that's right. 1 second. Yeah, I started these in February for my box of socks. So it's only taken me about a month and a half to get these socks finished. And I had so many troubles towards the end of doing these. So the sock foot and the heel, perfectly fine. And then I did one of these, one of the legs up to about here, to about the last cable, and realised that this pattern wasn't coming out like this. The repeat was for you to repeat the 6 to 18th row, and the repeat on the front of the leg is 18 rows. And so on the image in the magazine, these were matching these cables, and for some reason mine weren't. And so this cable was completely missing, and this one, and this one, and so I had this long stretch in between of just a long line basically, and it wasn't very attractive. It wasn't matching up to the cables on the foot like it's supposed to, and I realised it's because you weren't supposed to repeat 6 to 18th row, you're supposed to repeat the full 18 rows, which it didn't specify, and it got the wrong amount of rows circled. But there was nothing on the errata either, and I'd seen on Ravelry quite a few people had actually done it wrong as well, and so I ripped it all back and I redid the leg, and I did the other leg so that they match quite nicely. And then I really just wanted to get them done, so I did the cuff, and I forgot that I printed off the errata for the cuff, and I completely forgot. And this back section should have had like a twisted rib, and I didn't. I carried on the stocking stitch as per the actual pattern instructions out of the book, and I forgot. And I realised that I hadn't looked at the errata right after I casted off my second sock, and I was like, no! But I weren't intending on doing them again. I'll show you what they look like on the front of the pattern, because I haven't properly blocked these yet. These have just been sat on my blockers, although I don't think they really need to be, but they've just been sat on my blockers for a while. So this is the front of the sock, and they have come out gorgeous, and I'm really happy with them. I love the stitch definition of the cables, and it's absolutely beautiful. And this is a pattern by Louise Tilbrook, and the yarn that I used was the Tweedy sock from the Wool Barn, and it is gorgeous. Maya's Tweedy sock is beautiful. Really enjoyed knitting with it, and it feels like it's got to be so hard wearing. But I will let you know about that later date when I start wearing these, which probably won't be for a while yet. Trying to save my box of socks and not actually wear them, so they're actually neat and tidy, and I'm going to try and use them all next year instead. So these are those. So yeah, this is just a design feature now, and I am going to do it again. And to be quite fair, I had such a kerfuffle redoing the leg, which took me an extra 2 days to finish with me being at work, that I was kind of annoyed that I had to redo the leg, that I probably wouldn't do this pattern again. But it's not because it doesn't look amazing, it does, it's just that I had such an annoyed time completing these, and I think it's I think I will always kind of look at this pattern as, I love it, but bad omen from it. So yeah, so they're completed. And then I'm still doing my my cowl out of the spring pom-pom magazine, but that I've left at work, and I haven't got very far on that. I think I've got about 60 centimetres done. It's supposed to be 180 centimetres. I think I'm just finishing up on my first ball of the Spindrift, Shetland Spindrift yarn, and it's an easy pattern. It's a bit slow going because it's a long scarf, not really massively entertaining, but I did find this raglan t-shirt in Primark, and I know that Primark is just like cheapy shop, but still, the yellow will go awesome with my cowl when it's finished, so I need to get it done. I just haven't yet. And then my next project that I've been working on, as you all know, is my dad's Aran cabled sweater. So that is also hung up. I've started working on the front now of it. Reaching all over the place. Started on working on the front of it now, but this is the back of it, completely finished. So this is a month and a half's worth of knitting work, completely done, and I'm super happy with it. It's come out lovely, and I feel a little bit guilty because I started the front of his sweater on the 18th of April, and I've not even finished a first repeat yet, which is really bad. So first repeat is like here, and I haven't even done that. So really, because it's been a few weeks, I should at least have about 2 or so repeats finished. I might just slog it out on Monday and try and get another repeat or so done, or even today, and then I'll feel like I'm back on track. I might just put a movie on like Harry Potter or something this afternoon, and might just go straight through and just knit like a crazy lady and get a couple of repeats done. So that's his back completed, which I'm super happy with. And then anything else? I have got some scrappy socks on the go, which I restarted, so you might remember those. Look at me, I'm not very prepared today, I am sorry. I'm just digging everything out of my cupboards or anything that's hung up. But I restarted these a few weeks back, I think just before my last episode, and I forgot to mention these, which is really bad of me, but I started these back then. So there they are. I haven't really done much on these because I've been working on other projects, but that's fine. So this is a pattern that is by Olivia Villarreal. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Anyway, this is the Every Flavour stripy socks. And I helped her with the checking of the pattern. And I really wanted to redo mine because I wasn't happy with the the knotting method of doing the magic knot, which is just really a double bulky knot of because I didn't like it. I wasn't happy at all. I thought that it left lumps on the inside of my sock, and even though it's in the leg, at some point I'm going to get to the foot and I'm not going to like it. So I decided to just rip it out. And I pulled it back, and I've left it in a ball, and every now and then I will pull the colour out and I will snip the knot off and I will include it back into my sock. But I've been really naughty because I haven't really put it back in the same order. I've got these to put in somewhere because I snipped them off and decided that I didn't want them to be next. So I am changing the repeat of colours in my sock as well. But at some point I will love these more because it won't have the lumps in. So what I'm doing is, as I'm going, I'll turn them inside out. As I'm going along, I will knit a section and I will knot the two threads together just by doing a little looped knot. Can't get my thumb out now. To knot them together, and then so basically you just wrap it around your finger and then pull both of the threads through, and I'll just knot it to secure it, and then I will unpick the knot after I've put the new colour in, and I will unpick the knot and I will do one knot like you do when you do your laces, and then I will sew the one end in and sew the other end in the other direction, so it'll lie flat, and it will, because you've done that first knot, it will tighten up the stitch so it won't look loose, and it's so neat. You can't even tell where I've sewn the others in. Completely hidden, and I know it's extra work, but if you do it as you go along, it isn't. It really isn't, because you do your few rows in one colour and then you come back, undo your knot, and you just thread the ends through. You're done. Knit the next colour. It's not that difficult, and I think if you do it as you go along, you'll end up with no ends to do at the end of your sock. So, which is kind of what I do with my blanket as well. I do a square, I try and sew in my ends. Da, 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 da. So that was really sweet, and I really enjoyed helping out with that pattern. And lovely Olivia as well gifted me a present, which was Stephen West's Brioche poncho pattern, which is all DK weight yarn. So at some point I need to make that, but I don't have enough DK weight just yet to justify making it, so we'll see in a while. The next thing that I've been working on, which is in my new Thimble and Thread Makes bag, which is from the lovely Tracy's Etsy shop. I love these unicorns. Look how cute they are. They've got little smiley faces. They are so happy. Adorable. I love that it's got this little cute handle, which isn't too robust either, so it's quite nice. And inside I am housing my Revamped sock design, which I said I was going to do, and it's taking me a little while because with me doing full-time work I have to fit this in when I can. So this week this has gotten quite a bit of attention, and I've got a few test knitters, but if anybody else is happy enough to test knit a sock pattern, please get in touch. It's not a difficult sock pattern. It has got 2 different cables in it, and you cable on a round, and then you're knitting for a few rounds, and then you're cabling for a round again, and it's just not, you have some rest rounds in between, so it's not overly busy, but it just looks busy. So this yarn that I'm using is a homespun house in a Olsen base, and this is the In Bloom colourway. Isn't it gorgeous? I love all those shades of pinks and greens, and I'm super happy that I picked this colour, and it just felt right to pick this colour. My sock is called High Heart Bees, and my first sock was done in a pink colourway, and I kind of wanted to stay with the theme of a pink sock, and I think that the pink represents the heart, the love, and then the actual stitch pattern represents bees. So I've gone for this is optional, but I've gone for a 1x1 twisted rib for the beginning of my sock, and then this is the texture of the sock. So I hope you all like this. And it's nice because you can use a very subtle, variegated speckled yarn, and I don't think it takes away from the emphasis of the pattern, because you can still see the honeycombs. I think it's lovely. Such a nice texture. I hope you all agree. So I'm super excited, and I have got two at the same point because I knit them coinciding, so I do a few rows on one, few rows on the other, and yeah, so they're coming on slowly. I've got another repeat till they're at the length that I'm happy with to do my heel, but obviously you can continue and do however long you wish. That kind of lengths in legs and feet are always adaptable. So yes, so that's my revamp of my pattern, which is coming along beautifully. And if you are interested in test knitting, please get in touch. Might not be for a little while yet. I'm still writing up some of the instruction, and I'm obviously still knitting some of the socks. I'd rather have the socks kind of done so that you have something to look at when you're test knitting yours. So yeah, that's exciting. The next thing I wanted to talk about, let me just check my show notes. Right, podcasts I've been watching. I haven't been watching very many because, as you guessed, my internet has been failing on me. I have, however, been watching the new Star Wars movie, because Star Wars! I absolutely love Star Wars. It is the best. And I absolutely love the new movie. Really enjoyed watching it at the cinema and needed to buy it. So I've been watching that. I've even got my partner into Star Wars now, and so we watched A New Hope, and I managed to pick up myself a old DVD copy of The Return of the Jedi with the theatrical version, because I won't watch the remastered movie. I just won't do it. So I've now got all 3 theatrical films on DVD, so I can watch them all. So that's been great. So I've just been chilling and watching TV and just generally doing it, little bits, little things here and there. I haven't really been watching anything in particular, or I have been watching, actually. You all know that I love Katie of Inside 23, but I have been watching her Sewcation, and I really love that. I've been cheekily watching it on my phone bandwidth, so at least I still got to see all of her exciting week off sewing. Very inspiring. Really want to get into sewing. Really terrified I'm going to make mistakes. The year before, I made 2 tops and they went really well, and I think because I didn't sew anything last year except for project bags, I've kind of got out of it, and it's so nerve-wracking reading the instructions on patterns when you're not fully understanding what you're looking at. The skirt pattern that I was going to do with the wrap skirt, it was patterned on the outside and the inside, and when it came to folding your fabric and placing your pattern pieces, it didn't explain very well what was what. And I was looking at the key for wrong side and right side of fabrics, and there was I think there's two wrong sides. I don't know what it means, kind of, and I'm a little bit stuck with that. And so I'm not cutting fabric until I know what this sort of thing stands for. So it said it's a beginner pattern. I really don't think it is. I'm debating just doing the wrap around pencil skirt because that doesn't have a lining in it. So we'll see. Summer is coming. I could do with another skirt, so we'll have to think about it quickly. But anyway, tangent. Katie's sewcation was just brilliant to watch. Little Rolly was amazing as well. He had quite a few little spots in the videos, and it was just generally nice. And I love watching Katie. She's amazing. She's a doll. Swaps. I haven't really done any swaps. I had a really lovely package sent to me. Two packages. I had a package sent to me from a very kind viewer who gifted me a skein of lace weight for the podcast, so I put that in my gift bag. Thank you very much, by the way. I really appreciate it. And she mentioned it as possibly being a really good idea to use for my Wildersmeer shawl because it was a perfect colourway, and it is the perfect colourway. But the Wildersmeer shawl is done in a fingering weight. So she said that is fine, and I'm still going to send you it, and I'd love you to use it in a future giveaway. So I've hoarded that away with the other giveaway prizes. And I also received a package from Annie, who is my knitting friend from Germany, from the Wind Wall Knitting podcast. She gifted me a box selection of my favourite teas, so thank you so much, Annie, because I really wasn't expecting that. She'd done a tea swap recently with a few people and asked me if I'd like to join in, and I haven't had a great deal of money. I've got 5 birthdays coming up in May. 3 birthdays coming up in May, 2 birthdays in the beginning of June. So in 1 month, 1 payday month, I have all those birthdays, and I have 2 dentist appointments right at the beginning of my payday month. So I've got too much in like going out spending, so I couldn't really join in. And so this month I've been trying to get some of the birthday presents sorted so I didn't have to think about it so much. And because I couldn't join in the tea swap, Annie kindly sent me a really sweet treat box of tea, which was such a surprise. And I looked at the box on my landing and I was like, I've got a parcel? And I picked it up and I was like, it's Annie, because I saw the return to sender address, and I was like, oh, it's so sweet. So I was really excited, so thank you. So things that I've hoarded since last episode were things that I'd ordered a while ago, and I was waiting for them to turn up, and they didn't turn up for my last podcast. They turned up just afterwards. So I haven't really had a chance to show you these, really. I got a few things. So I obviously got my Unicorns project bag from Thimble and Thread Makes on Etsy. She's a UK seller, just in case any of you are interested in knowing where they are from. And I also purchased myself these Harry Potter stitch markers, which are amazing. They got the broom, the sewing hat, the book, the lightning bolt, and the... I can't remember where it is now. That's really bad. Anyway, Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter. And I really wanted to treat myself to these because who doesn't love fun stitch markers? And I haven't used these yet because I've been waiting to show you. But aren't they amazing? So I'm thinking about putting these on a fun future project, like a shawl project. So that's really exciting. And then I've got my another Harry Potter themed item, which is some sparkle fingering from a homespun house. And this is Molly's Mermaid of the Black Lake colourway, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's 400 meters. And this is just gorgeous. I think the camera is kind of getting a bit washed out, but look at the colours, so pretty. You just can't get much prettier than this. I love all the mixture of colours. And I've seen quite a few people have this, but they haven't gotten the sparkle version, which I have. So that's super exciting. So I know that Lara knitted some Hermione's Everyday socks, and I think Candice has got some, and she was thinking about doing the same. Sue had some, and I think she's knitted possibly some socks with it as well. And I don't know what socks I'm doing with mine, or what I'm intending to do with mine. But I will promise you I'll try and do something different. But I've been wanting this since Molly actually introduced this into a shop. And then when I went on and saw that there was some in her shop, I got really excited because I knew I could afford to get myself a treat. And when I saw that it was sparkly, I was like, oh God, get it. So I treated myself. And then I also purchased something which I'm thinking might be for my Wildesmeer, but I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see. I might change my mind. So I've ordered from the lovely Hedgerow yarns. This is gorgeous, and it even came with some lavender as well, sachet of lavender. So this is Hedgerow yarns on Etsy. It is just beautiful. Handwritten label, gorgeous prints on the label, hedgehog. It's hand dyed and hand painted yarn. It's luxury alpaca sock. It's 100 grams, and it's 40% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. This is super gorgeous, super soft, super squishy. It is going to be a dream. It's 400 meters, and the shade is pale terracotta, and you hand wash and dry flat, which is kind of a standard, I think. But it's so gorgeous. I just want to snuggle it. It is that soft. I don't think I've ever. I love baby alpaca. I love silk, and last year I made, with drops baby alpaca and silk, I made my water lily top. But I have not had baby alpaca, silk and cashmere, and this stuff feels like a dream. Like, unbelievably like a dream. I'm thinking this could be my Wildesmeer shawl, but we'll see, because it could change. I could change my mind, but it's lovely, and I love that it's a warm tone as well. So that arrived in my post box, and a little sachet of lavender, which Lincoln keeps trying to attack, so I had to hide it away with the skein again, because he starts batting it around the living room. He thinks it's his toy. And I thought lavender was supposed to be calming. Not to him is not. Then what else have I been doing? So, in love with, which tends to be what I've queued or what I've fallen in love with segment. I've fallen in love with a new shawl pattern by Helen of Curious Handmade, and it is a spindrift shawl. It is gorgeous. It takes up 400 metre gram skein of sock yarn. I think I have a picture of it. And you can get the pattern for free if you join her workshop. So I did. And it's an email workshop. So this is the shawl pattern. It's absolutely stunning. And you can even just buy the pattern. The workshop is basically for beginner shawl knitters. But every day she sends you an email explaining how to help you choose yarn, your gauge, how to block your shawl, lots of different things. So there's been three updates so far already done, and I'm really loving reading through it. Even though I'm not a beginner shawl knitter, it's still been nice to read through things, because you never know, you might learn something new still. So I don't know everything. So it's been really nice, and I haven't casted on the shawl just yet. I've got some yarn in mind, and I'm thinking I'm going to start it tomorrow. We're going to a car show, and it's intending on being rainy. We've just got our car back on the road. It's a vintage, old, classic car, and super excited to get driving it again, because we haven't had our car since last July. We've had it being welded over the winter. We've had some work done on it. There's still plenty of work to do because we need a new exhaust still. We've had a exhaust patched up and made as a temporary solution for us, but we are saving up money so that we can have a proper one made and fitted and blah de blah. But we're going there tomorrow, and with it possibly raining, I've decided that I'm taking a book, because you got it. So I'm taking my book, and I'm taking that as a project to knit, because it's quite simple. And I'm thinking as well, if I am on my own in the car for a period of time with a cuppa, I might even watch a podcast. So I've got plenty of things to do tomorrow while at the car show, if it gets a bit cold and dreary. And then I got gifted as well a lovely shawl from Helene of Helene Knits on Instagram. She's made the Margaretha shawl. I think that's how you spell it. I will try and put it in a down bar. It's a gorgeous, delicate looking 4-ply weight shawl with flower-like details in lace across the shawl with a picot edging, and it is really very sweet. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out, because it's really cute, and I'm sure she's put some really good work into the pattern, and would like to see plenty of people getting involved in knitting her shawl. I will at some point in the future. It's now on my list of future projects. I've got so many projects, guys. I need more knitting time. I need the knitting time. And what I've been reading as well recently is I've read Soulless by Gail Carriger, and then I've also been reading The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I finished today. I kind of cried a little bit, in a sad and good way at the end. It was really enjoyable to read, really easy reading. Both books were very easy reading and just what I needed. I've read so many intense books over the past year that I think I've needed some just good, chilled out bit of adventure, a bit of whirlwind reading, and yeah, I've really enjoyed both of these books. So now I'm on to adventure reading with Star Wars, because I can't wait. I suppose I'll tell you that I treat myself to a few things at Record Store Day a couple of weeks ago, and I got myself, you'll have seen on Instagram, I got my Rarities Deftones vinyl, and I also got a limited drum peel sessions of the White Stripes, which is awesome. I listened to a bit of it this morning, which my boyfriend was a little bit gutted with, because I said I'd listen to it with him, and I've been sneakily listening to it. And I also treated myself to the Star Wars vinyl picture disc. I couldn't help myself. I've had some Christmas money saved aside for quite a while, and it was to get some new dresses for my wardrobe, but since Christmas, and it's now April, I haven't found any dresses that suit me. So I decided to buy myself something I will love just as much. So I got the Star Wars picture disc. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. It's awesome. And I've been listening to this yesterday while doing a bit of spinning, and it goes in my collection with my other two Star Wars vinyls. So my other two John Williams music vinyl. I'm not a big classical person, but when it comes to Star Wars, there is just something about Star Wars music that I just love. I just can't explain it. And when I put on the first disc of the picture disc from the new movie, because it did the Star Wars theme, I got almost like excited, chills down my spine. I was just like, ah, because I loved it. I just can't get enough of it. It was awesome. I think that's it for this week. Oh wait, I can show you my blanket actually. A little bit of knitting treat for the end. I've been knitting on my blankets. There's been a bit of a knit along going with Shannon of the Socksetterer podcast, which I think you'll probably have heard from Katie as well, because she's been joining in. And there's a blanket blitz knit along going on in her Ravelry group. So you'll have noticed that last time I just started this square and I didn't get it done. I've just decided to knit crazy through it this week. So I did that square, and then I started this nice blue one as well out of the Bear and Fuller yarn that I used for my Because I Love You wrap. So I'm adding that colour in. And it's coming on beautifully, guys. I am loving my blanket. It is getting massively bigger and amazing. And then I also started as well a shawl for my brother, but I have kind of got it available. It's just behind my chair. I don't know why it's just behind my chair, but it is. And it's got my jingly Care Bear on there. Such a child. I also did a couple of squares on my brother's blanket, which I started. This one was a Malabrigo Ario that I used for my my shawl, my canopy shawl. This is some of the grey country style yarn that I used for my mum's waistcoat at Christmas. This is some of the Shetland, is it Loft? But anyway, this is what Eric sent me, the sweet Eric of Sticks Plus Twine. And then this is some of the Drops Lima that I did Will's mittens out of at Christmas. And I've got some odds and ends balled up in the bottom of my bag. Like literally I've got lots of odds and ends and a few minis that Eric sent me to kindly pop in my DK blanket. I don't have a massive supply of DK yarn. I do on odd occasions make DK weight hats, so I'm hoping that over the course of the next few years I might have enough yarn might have done enough projects to make this bigger. But at some point I might be collecting DK weight yarn, because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to knit to get into this blanket, but we'll see. I have saved the rest of the remnants of the colours that I've already put into my blanket or are planning to put in, because I figured I can always have a couple of squares that are the same. But yeah, I decided to make my brother a Cozy Memories blanket for when he gets a bit older. He's only 13, but I figured that when he gets to an age where he's going to college or university, he may have to go and live away from home, and to have a blanket made by your sister and that is full of knitting projects and just knitting love, I'm sure he'll feel like he's got a part of home with him. So I decided to make him a Cozy Memories blanket for the future. I think that's all I have to share with you today. I may have missed some bits because there's so much stuff to talk about, and I've been gone for what seems like forever. The lighting has gone a little bit dark. That possibly means that hail is coming. It has been like this all week. So what I might do is I might make a fresh cup of tea. I might go and get myself a film and my dad's sweater and start doing some knitting. So I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Just a little note at the end. One of the winners of the Cal didn't get in touch with me, but it's been over a month now. I am sure that this must not be a regular viewer and who has just possibly joined in out of chance, but I've decided that prize now I'm going to put away for a future milestone giveaway, and then I've got something prepared and it still will go out to somebody who will love it in the future. However, one of the prizes that was in that package was for Mina's Molu shawl, which is her brioche shawl. I'm sure you've all heard plenty about it, and I did mention it a couple of times. It is a gorgeous shawl. She also did some tutorials on YouTube to show you and help you with your brioche knitting. I do intend on knitting it myself. But I've decided that I'm going to do a giveaway for that Cal in the Ravelry board for the Killtocraft Podcast Group. So if you go over there, and I will put up a prompt, and I hope you all take part because it's a gorgeous pattern and brioche is something that you shouldn't fear. And I think a few other podcasters have even said that Mina's tutorials were amazing and really thorough, and they managed to do brioche quite easily after watching and reading through the pattern. And I think that because she's aiding you through a video that is also part and parcel with her pattern, I think that the two will go together really well, and you should be able to learn brioche really simply. So I'm really excited to give this away, and Mina is a great pattern writer. I've knitted her socks, this way that way socks, at Christmas. I have her across the pond shawl, which I'm thinking about casting on soon. I've got yarn for that. I just need a edging yarn, which I think I've even chosen the colour for. So that might be casted on pretty soon as well. So please go over to the Ravelry group and join in the giveaway. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time for another episode. Thank you for coming back, everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye!